everyone, it's Friday the 29th of January and it's time for the next chapter of Witch Wars. Super exciting. So we are on to chapter 29, The Clue. On the wall in a frame there was absolutely nothing. Above it was a swirly Witch Wars writing that read, "Congratulations, you're the same distance from the beginning as you are from the end, otherwise known as halfway there. Well done." "The clue's been stolen," said Tiga in despair. All the witches nodded. "The Bat Girl," one said. "I told her not to do it." Tiga and Peggy slowly turned around. "Felicity Bat?" Peggy asked. "Yes," said Lily, "and her friend, Hoof. They left moments after you arrived. You just missed them." "But wait," Peggy said, sounding worried. She yelled, "TV, TV, 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 TV," at her hand. "According to this, Felicity Bat is still asleep in Linden House." The camera was at a funny angle. Crispy had fallen asleep. "She's such a mean cheat," Tiga cried. "Crispy isn't with her. Look, that's just scrunched up covers and a hat." Fran was speaking frantically into a tiny phone. "Patricia, something has gone wrong with the footage of Felicity Bat. It says she's in bed at Linden House, but she was just at the coves by the docks." "Okay, yes. Yes, I would send Crispy to find Felicity at once. You should probably yell at Crispy too. Yes, yell. And why is there no footage of Aggie Hoof? Ah, Donna is refusing to participate and is now getting her hair done. What is Donna getting done to her hair?" "No, you're right. That's not important." "Can you tell us the clue?" Tiga asked the witches. They all shook their heads and carried on partying. Chapter 30. The Clue. Felicity Bat took the little piece of paper out of her pocket. "I see most things in circles, at times the wrong way round. But why is it I never lose track of where it is I'm bound?" She smirked, ripped the piece of paper into little pieces and flung it into the murky grey water. Aggie Hoof squealed and leapt onto Felicity's back as she levitated high up in the air. As they soared across the water, cackling as they went, Felicity Bat looked back and flicked her finger. Over in the corner of the cove, the little rowing boat slid out into the water and sank. Chapter 31. The Boat with the Feet. "Do you think someone took it?" Tiga asked. Peggy was pacing back and forth by the edge of the water. Her fist was in her mouth. She shook her head in disbelief. "Do you think Felicity Bat did this?" Tiga went on. "Or did we just forget to tie it up?" Peggy stopped and took her fist out of her mouth. "There is a strong chance I didn't tie it up, but I'm going to assume it was definitely Felicity Bat." "Okay." Peggy sat down on the ground and curled up in a little ball. "We're stranded." "What?" Tiga asked. "Stranded!" Tiga looked around the cove. There wasn't anything on which to float back across, and that made her realise something. "Hey, Pegs, there wasn't anything else in this cove when we arrived, was there? No boat or anything?" Peggy shook her head. "Well, if Felicity Bat and Aggie Hoof were just in front of us, we would have seen their boat. But there was no boat on the water and no boat in the cove, so how did they get here? And how did they get back?" "Magic, probably," Peggy said with a sigh. "So, don't you think we could use magic to get back?" Peggy got to her feet and walked over to Tiga. "I've told you, I'm rubbish at all spells, especially complicated spells with weird words like the levitation one, which is what we would need to get across the water. Felicity Bat is brilliant at spells. She wins the GAS award at school all the time." "GAS?" Tiga said with a smile. "Good at spells. GAS. Gas," Fran mumbled. She was half asleep on the brim of Tiga's hat, curled up round the shrivelled head. Now that they were losing, Fran wasn't that interested anymore. "Are you two still here?" came a voice from the far window. "Yes," Tiga cried. "Our boat is missing." "Take this!" There was a cackle as a large object fell from the window and landed with a thud on the ground. It was a large black four-poster bed. Tiga sighed. "Great, what are we going to do with that?" She turned round to check Peggy wasn't crying, but Peggy was leaping from foot to foot. "Oh, oh, 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 I can And that's why, if anyone in the docks had peeked out of their holy curtains that evening, they would have seen Tiga and Peggy sailing across the water in a four-poster bed. Well, more sinking than sailing. "I'm not sure the feet are working," Tiga cried. Peggy had jumped onto the bed and muttered a short spell from Tiga's book. "Take this land thing and make it be a splashing and swimming thing of the sea." And then a row of about 8 feet had appeared along the bottom of each side of the bed. It wasn't ideal. They were human feet, and the toenails were painted with stripy nail polish. They slapped about madly in the water, not really doing much. Tiga moved closer to the middle of the bed as the water splashed up the sides and soaked the black blanket on which she was sitting. Fran was snoring on Tiga's hat and missing it all. "I think there's a small chance we might be sinking," Peggy yelled as she peered over the edge. She was hanging from one of the posts. Tiga decided to join her and climbed up, but as she did, she noticed something strange. There were small lights dotted around, deep under the water. "We might have to swim for it. This isn't good," Peggy said. She flicked her finger and the feet started to splash more, but it was no good. They just seemed to speed up the sinking. "Ah, frog fingers," Peggy said. Tiga had her eyes fixed on the lights below the water. She lifted off her hat, being careful not to shake Fran awake, and pulled the rolled-up map out from under it. "I knew it," she thought as she studied it. The underwater world was right beneath them. "We're going down," Peggy said, holding her nose. "Do you want to swim? I think it's that or die." Tiga quickly rolled up the map and stuffed it back in her hat. "Hold on to the bedpost, Peggy, until we sink to the bottom." "What?" Tiga nodded towards the lights that lay deep below. "We'll go to the sunken ship road spa." Peggy was now up to her neck in water. "The what? You've never been to the underwater world below the docks?" As Peggy's head went under, all Tiga could make out from the gurgles was something that sounded a lot like, "There's an underwater world below the docks." And that's where we're going to stop ours. Have a lovely weekend and join me on Monday for our next instalment, which will be starting with chapter 32, The Sunken Ship Road Spa. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.